Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Coffee. I'm your host, Kaila New York. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about letting go. Letting go and allowing others to take care of themselves so you can take care of yourself. Let's get into it.
You have to unravel yourself. You have to realize that you are responsible for you. The same way you are responsible for you is the same way they are responsible for them, whoever they are. I'm not saying a 1-year-old baby. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about grown people. That's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about grown people. After a certain age, even your children, you switch from becoming their dictator and protection and all this stuff to you have to step back and let them grow. Because if you don't and you smother them because you want to make sure they're okay, and then you're like, okay, are you okay? And it's like what happens is you're smothering them. And then what happens is they start doing the opposite of what you tell them to do. So people are not your responsibility. You are your responsibility. And what happens a lot of times, we're too busy in someone else's responsibility to take responsibility for what we're supposed to do. And by the time we get to doing what we're supposed to do, we're fucking exhausted. Why? Because we're doing this shit. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I'm grinding today, so I'm going to try this for a week. My house is probably going to be a mess. But I'm going to try this. I'm going to be responsible for me. I'm going to be responsible for making sure there's money in this house. I'm going to be responsible to make sure they have the funding that they need for anything that they need. But it is not my job to take care and manage the house. So for the next couple of days, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit in my role and do what I can. I'm going to be courteous, kind, and patient. I'm going to do my best to be understanding, but I'm not going to do the work for them. If I see that my son doesn't spread his bed, I'm going to go to him, hey, don't forget to spread your bed. If he doesn't, it's on him. If he's 12. So after 6 or even stretching 7, depending on the kid, you have to instill that in them. After a certain age, it's either they spread their bed or they don't. So it's so I started spreading my bed as an example for him to spread his bed. So that's working out. You have to take responsibility for you, and that is it, especially when it comes to grown people. You can't dictate to them what their responsibilities are. You can't bully someone into success. I don't care what Joe Jackson said. If Michael Jackson really didn't want it, it wouldn't have mattered how many beatings he whooped that boy. He wouldn't have did what he did now. You understand? The other person has to have a willingness to want to do whatever it is you're advising them. But if they don't want to do that, no matter how much you try to yell at them, make them feel like shit, find a different way to tell them this is not going to work. You understand what I'm saying? You got to stop that and move the fuck on. Seriously. You literally just got to stop that and move the fuck on. It's time to move the fuck on. Move the fuck on from this. This person is not going to change. Because what happens is a lot of times with women is that our husband's like, oh, she's not talking to me because, and he's like, I'm just going to wait around until it blows over. But then sometimes it doesn't blow over or she gets over it for months. because she's pissed off because you're not even trying to fix it. You're just waiting for me to reset and you to start the bullshit all over again. Or you do little things here and there to make me to pretend that you understand, but you really don't. You just want the arguing to stop. You don't want to understand where the argument is coming from and where it stems from. And that's the I can't think past my dick syndrome. I can't think. It's like you can't think past your dick, that you don't understand that you can't just show up. You understand? You can't just show up. But what happens with us is we try to tell them, we try to explain it, we try to do this, we're jumping through this, we're doing like cartwheels trying to get them to understand. And they still don't understand, because you know why, ladies? Because they don't, say it with me, they don't want to understand. They don't care. That does not mean they don't care about you. And this is something I'm starting to learn. It doesn't mean that they don't, well, most of them, I don't know about all of them. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. They just really don't care about what you're upset about. And then we believe, because remember, it's our beliefs that hold us captive. We believe that since they're my husband and my partner or my friend, they're supposed to care that I'm hurt about this. And what they're saying is, I don't think you should be hurt. So what am I consoling you for? You understand? It's not that serious. Move the fuck on. But the problem is, the more we're like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, it's a conundrum, because we don't do the same things to them that they do to us. I know a lot of women are like, I know that's right. They don't. Or we don't. Actually, if we think about your husband right now or partner, if we did to them all the shit they were like, oh, you really not gonna forgive me? Oh, what, you can't talk to nobody? It wasn't that serious because they did it. Just think about it. If they found out that you did it, you understand, that you did all the bullshit and do you honestly believe that they would forgive you the way they want you to forgive them? No, they wouldn't. And the funny thing is, even if they did forgive you, it would be the same thing as for women, that we say we forgive you, but it's still not completely forgiven. You gotta earn penance for that, bitch. You understand? Especially if you made me look stupid in public, on social media. You got some work. You got some recoup to do. You have some recoup to do. And it's like, you need to get on the ball with that shit, because it's like, no, it's not just you do whatever you want to do and I just sit back and I went off topic. I said, Jesus, flashbacks. Whew, that was a flashback. Whew. Anyway, I'm back. Now, what I'm trying to say, see, I tell you, it's not just you. It's me too, girl. Same ocean, different boat. Anyway, so the thing is, what I was saying is, like, how I went into that whole rant about him, lost my whole energy pattern, lost all this stuff, lost time. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I'm a prime example. That's what I'm talking about. Because if I was just like, you know what? Game on. And it's not like game on, because we do that too. We're like, okay, I'm going to show you. No, that's still too much energy. Do what's best for you and leave the adults to tend for themselves. And even your adult children, because your children become adults before they're adults. You understand? And they're adults in training. That's like my second son, he's an adult in training. Because he's not quite old enough to completely take care of himself, but he can do a lot of shit for himself. You know what I'm saying? We can't baby the kids. Granted, we can't be like how our parents were, but we can't baby them either, because they won't know what to do. and then they will go into being men into other women's houses after us and doing the same shit that our husbands is doing to us because they weren't trained any better. You know, it's up to us to make sure we at least smack them in the back of the head. Like, boy, pick your shoes up. You understand? That's your kid. You can do that. Because by the time they get to an adult, it's not going to work. It's a lot of work. It's not just for you. It's also for me. Because there's times that I'm counseling other people and I get epiphanies myself. I be sitting there looking at my service like, oh shit, was that for me or for her? And they're like, it was for both of you, I guess. You know, and it's like my life changes when your life changes. So just know that I'm here for you. Stay up, stay blessed.